You're listening to ProBooth Talk, education and insights for photo booth company owners.
Welcome back to ProBooth Talk. If you're seeing Lap's face right now, it looks like that because I didn't tell her I was starting.
Ready.
I just pressed record.
Forget the co-host.
I knew she wasn't looking at the camera. We have a countdown. I knew she wasn't watching, so I sabotaged her.
Hi,
welcome back to ProBooth Talk. Welcome, Lap.
Getting more and more informal as we go.
It's okay. It's fun. We don't necessarily have a topic. This is kind of, I guess, like an anniversary show. So happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Wow, the year flew by, Jason.
Yeah. So
it doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't feel like it. I agree. And I noticed because we were doing like what are we calling it? The rapid fire was number 4, which is a quarterly episode. And then I went and checked the episode when we started, and sure enough. So I don't know. Was
it actually March 21st or just March?
So our first episode was published on March 8th.
Oh, wow. So we recorded that ahead of time, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to even remember.
Yeah. So we had that one published, and then we had 3 published on the same day, just so that we would have more than 1 or 2 things. So we did that one early on March 8th. I think that was working with like photo booth marketing. I think we just like released one a week early for their listeners or something. And then the next week we released 3 more simultaneously. So the first one was what's in your bag. We discussed what we use at events, then critical feedback, publishing prices, and branding all came out that first week. So if you haven't listened to any of those, especially publishing prices, seems to be a hot topic. That was episode 2003. Go back and check that out.
That's so ironic. You know, we were recording with Ursula and Sammy, and you had to jump off for that meeting. And we were just talking. Ursula had asked me about like how the podcast was going. And I was just sharing with her like how it's been such a cool experience.
It is a cool experience, and I love it. And like as far as it's going, probably not great. Like as far, I mean, we're not monetized or anything. We're not making any money. It's not doing anything for us in that realm more than just, the emails that people are sending us and thanking us for helping them and telling us their stories about how they were able to raise their prices or how different things that we shared helped. And certainly those things certainly make it worth it to us. But I could pull up some numbers here.
I mean, it's been, for me, like when I was talking to Ursula and Sammy about it, I was just saying like, it's been really awesome to be able to, exactly what you're saying, like hearing people's stories, how they have applied. We have our podcasts are like an hour long. They're super long. And like, sometimes it's just like one sentence that someone gets from the entire podcast and they apply it to their business, and hearing how it's changed their business is so amazing. Because we're literally just having conversations. Me and Jason, when we jump on, we don't really have bullet points or anything.
Yeah, we have a very loose guide of what we want. Like, there's a few things we want to make sure we hit, but otherwise, it's just talking about our experiences and whatnot. And I mean, it's worked well. It does run long. I was checking out some other podcasts a few weeks ago, like Super Boothers, for example, and saw that their episodes are usually like 18 to 20 minutes. And
ooh, that's short.
I can't imagine how I could do that. I mean, I feel like you'd have to take a lot of the human element out, but they didn't. They did a good job. So hats off to them for doing 20-minute episodes. But I mean, I like our hour content and having the discussion and not really knowing where we're going.
Yeah, we literally veer off left and right. We never know. Sometimes we have to change the title of the.
we have changed the title of an episode because we went in a completely different direction. So I just pulled up. So we have about 8,400 downloads.
We just introduced the live during PBX. No, after PBX. We just introduced the live like 3 days ago. The camp.
Yeah, so during PBX is when we did the first fireside check-in.
Yeah. That was a task for anybody that does not know, to get a bunch of us together on a
at
fireside
PBX.
at PBX. That was
And not
a
just random
miracle.
people, like people that all have places to be. There's speakers. There's people that have booths on the showroom
Vendors.
floor. So it was a task. Yeah, but we pulled it off, put it together. It was a lot of fun. It got a lot of good feedback. So we're going to do it monthly until the feedback dies off. We just did the second one a few days ago. Did it live, and we're going to continue to do them live and then publish them the following week.
Yeah.
Which is great because that's 12 less episodes I need to come up with every year. Just having a conversation.
But it's awesome because like with that's even less structured than our podcast recordings, because we literally jump on and
just have a conversation, and the goal is that we have enough participation from viewers or people that are watching live that the questions come directly from the audience, so there's really no planning at all or no structured. Whatever questions come up from the live.
Yeah.
Thinking back to when we had Rex on, I think he said that one of his videos had like over 10,000 views, and I'm just realizing now that our collective videos are at about 80% of that is one video.
His videos are more like tutorials though, so they're a little bit
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
Like
it makes sense.
Yeah, so you have a different viewer market, like
Yeah. I'm
target.
super happy with the 8,000 plus and it has picked up a lot. I mean, this has been a year, but our last 30 days has had just about 1,500. So obviously there is a lot more now than there was in the beginning. So if you're newer, like go back and check out all those episodes you missed.
I know I was a little bit apprehensive about like sharing the podcast. So for like a while, nobody knew I was doing the podcast either, just because I didn't really share it too much, because I was trying to get used to everything. But now I'm comfortable. I post our episode drops.
Yeah, I was going to say something to that effect, but I can't remember. So never mind.
Was it about redoing some of the first episodes?
No. I mean, some of those we can go back to because things always change.
Yeah, like the what's
Maybe
in
a
your
year from
bag,
now.
I feel.
Yeah,
like what's in your bag, I feel like has changed a lot in just the year, right?
some of the softwares or hardwares that we.
Yeah.
Not for me. A lot of that is largely the same for me. We may have picked up a few things at PBX and stuff, but I think we're pretty much the same. I mean, a lot of the earlier episodes was very focused on my staff that is pretty much all gone after some 8 years, some 5 years of being with me. I have completely had a huge staff turnover. But ironically enough, a lot of that was happening when recording or releasing the staffing and team episodes. So if there was a little crack in my voice, that may have been knowing that I was losing some of my long time staff.
It's part of business though, like adapting.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had this conversation with someone the other day about like, if you find something that's not working for you, instead of like sitting there and dwelling on it, you got to just kind of, our job as a business owners is to find solutions instead of focusing on the problem.
Yeah, and most of my staff was working for me. I wasn't working for them for the most part. Some needed insurance, and we looked at it, we explored it, and we just couldn't do it. One of them needed 40 hours, and they are only working 18 to 20. And again, we looked to try to see if we could accommodate, and we just couldn't do it. So, people have their own lives and their own needs. Yeah.
You got to keep it pushing.
But we've got Jasmine in the office now, and she's doing incredible. A few people met her at PBX. I brought her a couple of the days. She came to our meetup when we were distributing our buttons or whatnot.
It was cool, the meetup at PBX.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I got to meet some listeners and
get some photos.
Yeah. That was a great idea. And everybody loved those buttons, right? I love my buttons.
Yeah, I feel like next year, if we can talk Robin to like either giving us a really good rate on a booth, because again, not monetized, guys. Like everything, like those buttons, everything we do is coming out of our pocket. So if we can all collaborate and push Rob to giving us a booth, then maybe we can do those buttons like live. Because a lot of people came up and they're like, "Hey,
you want to be punching buttons at PBX?"
Well, I mean, if we have a booth set up and we're hanging out, so many people came up and they're like, "Hey, how do I get that?" And I'm like, "Well,
go find Lab." And they couldn't find Lab.
Well, no, they didn't even sign up because they didn't hear about it. So And I was just like, I'm not going to go back to my office and make you a button. But, if we did it at PBX and took a photo live there and press the button out, and, I think that would be a good way to meet some people and spread the word. But we'll see. But it sounds like Lap
That
is
sounds
not
scary.
going to.
That's scary to me to be camped out at the booth punching buttons all day.
Yeah, well, we'll take shifts. We'll get some of my staff to come help me.
Get some volunteers.
There's always volunteers.
Yeah.
Always volunteers. Let me pull up this other. Curious now of what our most listened to episode was. Let's see, I don't ever hardly look into these stats. So
hopefully in this past year, to our listeners, like hopefully we have helped somewhat in your business. Like if you've been listening, since day one, thank you. We appreciate it. And, hopefully you got like some valuable information through the year. We want to keep doing this.
So that Get Rich Quick, not surprisingly, was our most listened to episode. And that had some controversy, and it was right before PBX.
What was the controversy?
Well, just that we're not really throwing vendors under the bus, but we're
really
calling
nice.
them out. Yeah.
We're being really nice.
Considering. Yes. So other news, it sounds like, I don't know if we could announce it because, there's nothing signed or anything. So maybe I'll go back and edit this, but we just wrapped up a conversation with someone. Looks like Lap and I are likely going to be sharing the stage at PBX Amsterdam. So hope we see everybody there. For those of you that are just podcasting and not YouTubing, is doing a lap dance. Not lap dance. she is doing a lap style dance.
Dang, one of those moments where having the name is not to my benefit. Dang it. Lap is doing a dance. Lap's doing a dance. For anybody that doesn't know. We'll see you. We'll see you in Amsterdam real soon.
Yeah, that's right around the corner. That's coming up like 6 months or something. Is it 6 months?
September 25th, September 26th, you guys. We talked about this in one of the episodes where I talk about like my visit to PBX London and how valuable it was, how different it was than Vegas. Like when I went, I didn't anticipate much, but it was so much more than I thought it would. So much more, like in a different way than because when we go to Vegas, we're thinking we're going to meet all of our friends. And when I went to London, it was a whole different. I ran into friends too, but.
Yeah, and from the discussions we're having, it sounds like there's a very strong focus on education. Whereas PBX Vegas does have some education, does have a showroom, but this is uniquely being tailored to solid education.
Yes, with that focus.
Yeah, in fact, they said that anyone that has spoken at PBX in the past, they're not letting them speak about things they've spoken about in the past. So all new content.
Yes.
If someone has like say a green screen company, they're not letting them talk about green screen because they don't want it to come across like an advertisement.
Yes.
So all fresh content, all solid.
The goal is to be education based, which is I'm really excited about.
Yeah, it's a change that we have needed. So hopefully Rob continues that direction in the Vegas side of PBX. We'll see how that goes. Guess it'll depend on how it goes in Amsterdam.
Yeah, but that's exciting. So if you guys have not planned or even thought about it, look into it. We're excited.
So other episodes, Partner to Planner, that had some good reception. Makes sense. Everyone wants to meet and know how to get together with wedding planners and things like that.
Partner with them, yeah.
Definitely solid. Go check that out. Oh, that is just our indirect downloads from the podcast. I should also check out YouTube, see how that looks. Analytics. So we have about 800 views on YouTube. Doesn't change our numbers that much.
Yeah.
And let's see, our most popular again. Actually, Troy's listener spotlight is really, really high on that. Way to go, Troy. Yeah.
They're inspiring.
Yeah. And
also
then
I got to meet them in PBX this last February too. They're sweethearts.
Inspiring in style as well. Every time he posts something, it's like the guy is like a walking magazine cover.
Both of them.
Yeah, maybe I'm not sure if I'm not friends with Orlando. I think I am, but I seem like I only see Troy's posts. Any notable episodes? Putting you on the spot.
The SEO one, the one that just pushes me to want to focus on that just because it was just so over my head. It really, I feel that episode was one that I definitely was challenged by because when we were recording, just was like, I don't even have anything to add to this because this is just a whole different language for me. I think that was one of those makes me want to delve deeper into that or even delve into it at all, just because it was so over my head. So that episode stood out to me. And even though it's like I'm saying I don't know anything about SEO, that's not necessarily a bad thing because I feel like some of us, you need that topic to be brought up where you're just so like, oh my God, that's a lot. And then you start that path down that direction, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping eventually I get to that.
Yeah, another one that we have that has some kind of higher listening is the Superheroes Need Sidekicks, which was virtual assistants. And I did promise to commit to doing that for 6 months and come back and do a follow-up episode of my experiences. We will do that very soon. I'll give you a spoiler alert that I'm currently looking for a VA without attachments to an agency.
That's
I
interesting.
took extensive notes over
Dun,
the
dun,
last 6
dun.
months, and I'll spill all the tea. I'll share all my experiences, and some of them were good, and most of them, unfortunately, were less than good. Forward to that.
I'm looking forward to that too, because that's one of my biggest,
I actually just hired a guy yesterday. I'm meeting with him for the first time Monday because we're recording on a Friday, so I hired him on Thursday, and we'll start with the next week. And his role is going to be exclusively website SEO and Google AdWord upkeep. So I'm going to utilize some of the guests that we've had on the show and pay Art and Phoenicia a couple hours to do some one-on-one with this person and make sure that they are where they need to be. Phoenicia, for anyone that didn't listen to that episode, is an SEO specialist that we had on that Lap was just talking about. And Art, if Art's not doing your Google AdWords, then you must not be ranking well because you need Art. Art's a rock star. Yes. Yeah. Since this person's going to be doing Google AdWords and SEO, I want them to have these conversations with these people that I know. I mean, he already has a really good resume and stuff, but a lot of that is like Google AdWord training through Google, and I know like Google obviously has ulterior motives. They don't have the same goals as I do as a business owner. I mean, they kind of do if they want to generate leads so that I spend more money, but I want to niche down and get like a super high ROI on my leads. I don't want to shock. Yeah, I don't know that we have to push this episode out any longer than it needs to be. It's probably pretty brutal listening to us just relish on our year of success without any real content.
Well, also, it is Jason's birthday, and we were in the middle of recording with. Who are we recording with? Because we've been in studio all day today. Who were we recording with at that time? Was it
I think it was
the white label
Vivian
experts?
Payton. Yes.
Yeah, Vivian and Peyton. And in the middle of our recording, Jason's team walks in with this. Do you have that cake? Jason's
I could
team
get it.
walks in with this. Go get it.
Okay,
It is
keep
Jason's
talking.
birthday, you guys. Today's Jason's birthday. In the middle of us recording the white label episode 1 of 3, Jason's team brings in this amazing cake. You guys are gonna see it right now. And we bust out singing happy birthday. So not only is it ProBooth Talk 1 year anniversary, but it's also Jason's birthday. Where you at, Jason? Happy birthday to you. Oh wow, look at that. And I think Peyton was just talking about the branding. Jason's branding is so on point that even brought him a cake with the Bolero hat on.
I actually have no idea where the cake came from.
It came from me.
My staff did bring it in here, but there's no note, there's no letter, there's no stickers on the box.
It has all your branding on there, the Bolero hat, the red. I mean, talk about branding on point. That you even get a birthday cake with your branding on it.
It's edible or something I can keep. Hopefully I can keep it.
We're wishing ProBooth Talk. We're celebrating ProBooth Talk's 1 year anniversary with us, and then we're celebrating Jason's birthday as well. Hey, happy birthday!
And happy birthday anniversary. I guess it's kind of like ProBooth Talk's birthday also.
Yeah,
right? Anniversary, kind of the same thing, the birth of a podcast or
with laughing.
yes. Maybe that's what we'll rework the name. ProBooth Talk with Laugh and Jason.
On the live we did with the guys the other day, we were just talking about not like trying to avoid super long or long names. Let's keep it at ProBooth Talk so it doesn't go into a long old name.
PBT.
Yeah, PBT.
I don't know. What is Cherie? I always forget, and it's always
No, it's so bad.
photo booth talk.
There's like 3 videos of me where I'm
So
like,
she has
what's her template?
same initials. Yeah, photo booth talk
Yeah.
and ProBooth Talk.
Yeah.
Very, very similar. So anyways, yeah, well, no reason to stretch this any longer. Just super happy with what we've accomplished. Appreciate everyone that is out there listening to us now who came to PBX and bought us a drink or met us up at our meetup and shared their story with us. There's a couple
or just for supporting us. Like there was people that came up with like, hey, are you Lab? Oh my gosh, we listened to you guys. And I mean, thank you so much, you guys, for the support listening through the year. We appreciate that.
Yeah, and the comments and the likes, like that is the only way that we get any kind of payment recognition. I know a lot of content creators are always pushing the like, comment, subscribe, whatever. But seriously, that's all we've got. So if you want to thank us for what we do, leave a comment, and that raises us in the algorithm. Other people see it, and leave a comment, give us a like, let us know you're there.
Yeah, and share our podcast, with people in the industry, because I know a lot of people don't know. There's a lot of people that don't know that we do this. People I
In
know
fact,
too.
I was talking to someone at PBX, and he said something pretty crazy to me. I won't share his name because I don't know if this was a private conversation or not, but he mentioned that he keeps talking to all these people that have heard of the podcast but have never listened to it before, and he would ask them why not, and a lot of them would just say, well, I plan to, I want to, it's just I haven't got to it yet. But these same people, he would tell me, are paying Catalina and paying Photo Booth Marketing, which both are fantastic. I pay both of them as well. But he said a lot of the times he feels like our content is more relevant and has helped him more, and it's free, but he thinks that these people haven't listened because they disvalue it because it's free. Yeah, he just said he's blown away all these people that aren't listening to this absolutely great free content, and he thinks it's because it's free that they're not listening to it, because of these people would say they are paying Photo Booth Marketing and they are paying Catalina,
so they're taking the time to,
and they're listening to it, but they're not listening to us because maybe they associate free with either a sales ploy or just not solid content. I don't know, but that gentleman said that a lot of the times that he gets more value out of listening to us. So not to take away from either one of them. They're both amazing.
Well, I mean, like a lot of us all have knowledge. I mean, we talk about that a lot. Like every person that you come in touch with, you're going to learn something from. It's just, not everybody is podcasting and sharing everything like we do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we talk about so many topics that, I mean, it's not surprising that it's helping people when they do listen. Not everything, and we talked about this too, not everything that we talk about you're going to agree with. It's just our experience with it.
Yeah, and that's what it boils down to, is experience. It's not even about agreeing. Like, we could be completely wrong. Like,
yeah, like me and Jason, there's certain things that we do different.
Coaches.
Yeah.
We're just saying, this is how I did it, right or wrong, and those decisions have led us to where we're at today.
Those mistakes have led us.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even decisions sometimes. Sometimes it's like a mistake where you're just like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this wrong this whole time. And, you have to, and that's what I was saying, like sometimes you have to like redirect yourself instead of like staying stuck where you're at, stagnant. You got to make those changes. And sometimes those changes are super scary. And, it's nice to have like a friend or a bunch of friends in the industry that like help you reframe your mindset so that you don't beat yourself up for whatever mistake or whatever, because you're going to make bad decisions. bad
Mhm.
investments. We've all done those.
Well, sure. And even with our mistakes, like at our boothcation, our January trip, Monica mentioned to me, she's like, I love you, Jason. We're having drinks and stuff. And she's like, I love you, but sometimes the things you say on your podcast, I just don't agree with. And I'm like, that's fine. Like, they may
Yeah.
be completely wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just
Well,
telling you about my experience. I'm
yeah.
not instructing you or teaching you or coaching you. Like, but that feedback, tell us, like,
Yeah.
you've had different experiences in what you're doing, because
Yes.
that's what it's all about. We want to learn as well as
Yeah.
share.
Exactly. So like, everybody that you're friends with and all of your peers that you have discussions with, you're close with, you have conversations with, not everybody does everything exactly the same. And I'm not sensitive. So, reach out and be like, lap, this, what you said doesn't work for me. I went this route. And that's the thing. Like, we talk about that too. Like, there's people who market their company. Just an example, there's people who market their companies more high end and they charge a premium. And then there's people and I have plenty of friends who charge a lot less, but their business structure is a lot different than the way Jason and I run our company, and it's not necessarily wrong. It's just a different approach. We just don't talk about that approach because that's not the approach that we take with our businesses anymore.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of times people say, when they see things like Rex came here and did a walkthrough of my office. If you haven't watched that, if you want to see what my office and warehouse looks like, Rex on his YouTube channel did a complete walkthrough,
Right
and I
after
gave him a
PBX.
tour.
Yeah.
So go check that out. But one of the comments was hashtag goals, which, I get, obviously, but like ultimately, like we're all at different positions. Maybe you have goals to aspire to where I'm at, but a lot of times the places that you're at might be better for you. I mean, it's not necessarily better. It's just different. I'm just in a different spot than other people.
Well, I think something that I don't talk a lot about is like, since I have, like, I'm a full-time mom. So I mention it here and there, but like when I did the white label panel for Booth Mastermind a few years back, like I talked about, like my business does its own business. We do our own business under LX Picks, but we do a lot of white label work. And some companies veer away from that because, they're more about like doing business under their company brand.
Mm-hmm.
And I talk about like, you know what, I like that we do have white label contracts because for my specific situation with like being a mom full time, I don't like to spend a lot of time working direct with clients, having those back and forth with emails and stuff like that. So white labeling for many years worked really well for me, especially when my son was he's 13 now, but when he was a lot younger, it was perfect for me. And that doesn't necessarily work for everybody else. We all have unique situations. We approach business different. We have different circumstances. So me and Jason, we only talk about like what we've been through with our own experiences. And we always, I feel like we always try to stress that, like, we're not saying we're right about everything. We just sharing.
Yes, just sharing.
Our own perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. And
And
not saying
sometimes
you
it's
shouldn't have
interesting.
goals, and maybe where we're at is a good goal for some people. I'm just saying, like it's not always what it looks like. Like we're just at different levels. Like a lot of people that do a lot less than me make a lot more money than me if we're talking about like financial goals, because they don't have the overhead of a full-time staff and the warehouse and all these things. But I've freed up a lot of my time, and that's more valuable to me. So I mean, it's just different. Maybe you've got the time to put into it, and you would want more of the money, and that's what most people are looking for. And my model wouldn't work for you.
Yeah.
It's just know where you're going, what you're aiming at.
Hopefully from our podcast, you can learn or like see a different perspective on things that maybe have not crossed your mind. Because I know I've had conversations with people where, like the pricing thing is a big thing for all of us, no matter what level you're at. The pricing is always going to be a discussion. In certain markets, it's more a focus than others. Like I think me and Jason, we're in that target clientele where it's not as bad. We don't get as much pushback. I just lost my focus of what I was going to say.
It's all right. It's okay. Well, we could wrap up. I did mention Boothcation, so I should give a shout out to Monica, and I think it's Rudy and Belinda and George. Is it those four? We did just commit to signing up for their photo booth cruise in August.
We did.
Not we. No, me and my wife. Me and my wife. We just commit. Like I originally said no because I wasn't trying to do any vacations this year because I over vacationed last year. But Monica knew better than to talk to me, and she approached my wife.
You're smart.
So we are committed. So check it out if you're not already looking into it. Booth Cruise, I believe it's in August. Come hang out, have some drinks, and talk shop. Hopefully, Lap can make it as well.
August is the cruise, and then September you're going to
Amsterdam. I think it's August. I may be wrong. I guess if I'm going to shout it out, I should know what I'm talking about. Let me Google real quick. Booth Cruise. Hopefully they have a website or something. Of course, Moby Booth comes up because they've got the Moby Booth Cruise. Let me go to Facebook. Come on, Monica, you need a website. Get some presents. Booth Cruise, summer 2025, August.
gonna be vacationing a lot this year.
Yeah, that's the problem. I always vacation too much, and we're going to Texas in June. So yeah. Texas in June, going there for a concert. Going to spend some time with Jason Cage, which really, really smart photo boother. I've never actually met in person. We've just exchanged a lot of messages and whatnot. But August 4th through August 8th, Booth Cruise out of Port Canaveral, Florida.
Yeah, the cruise, the one I went to was really fun.
Yeah,
when I was present. Yeah.
All right, so we were going to do like a 15-minute celebratory anniversary show, and now we're at 36 minutes because we don't know how to do a short episode, even when we don't have anything to talk about. So,
well,
yeah.
I mean, again, thank you guys. Thank you so much for your support this past year and through all the different episodes and us going through learning curves, like trying to figure out the live. We appreciate it.
That was okay. What's funny about that is, so I like in my mind, I was thinking it's okay if the first few minutes are bad because no one's even on yet, but that's all recorded. So the first few minutes of where we're like tinkering around trying to figure it out are the first part of the recording when you go to watch it, like later after the live. There's like 5 minutes of us just like chatting about trying to figure it out.
That's funny.
But anyways, thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out for the last 37 minutes in the last year.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
And if you see us somewhere, PBX Amsterdam, the PBX Vegas, the Booth Cruise, or wherever else, say hi.
Yeah.
Thanks all.
Bye.
To keep the conversation going, join our Facebook group, ProBooth Talk Community. If you enjoyed this podcast, consider showing your support by subscribing, liking, reviewing, or sharing this topic with someone in the industry.